Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson with you here. On the phone with me, I've got a guy that's quickly becoming a legend in Birmingham, the head coach of the Wenonah Dragons, Coach Cedric Lane. Coach Lane, how are you tonight?
Pretty good.
Listen, thanks so much for being with us. We really do appreciate that. In doing some research for interviewing you, I looked at your schedule. My goodness gracious, I've never seen a basketball team in high school play a schedule like you do. You've played state champions from other classifications. You played teams from out of this region, practically out of this country, all the way in California. You played teams from Florida, from Georgia. You've got Mountain Brook on the schedule. Of course, they're the defending state champs in 6A. Coach, how do you feel like this prepares you for the Final 48, which will be coming up in February?
Well, I think that's the best preparation. You're right. We actually have a brutal schedule, and we usually schedule tough, but this year is the toughest schedule we've ever had, and our schedule includes 7 state champs over the last 2 years. In addition to playing, a lot of national games, 25 teams, but you got to play a team that was playing number 8 in the nation Saturday. And these are the kind of teams that really prepare you for the Final Four.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you got a team from Ohio, a team from Oregon, a team from Georgia. You play Hoover, and you step up and play teams from 6A. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. And you know what? You win a lot of these games. That's the thing that's so unbelievable about it. But I think you're definitely right that it prepares you for the Final 48. One win, or I should say one loss that everybody is talking about from last week, and Parker upset you guys. It was the first time Parker has defeated Wenonah in 9 games, I believe it is. Talk about that loss and how has that affected the team so far?
Well, they beat us. The first time they beat us in the last 9 times we played, and they always go for pretty tough matchup. This particular game Friday, I mean, we responded from it. We won Saturday, and we came out and won again yesterday. But Saturday we just played kind of flat. We didn't shoot the ball well at all, and they're a pretty good defensive team. Our starting guards shot 3 for 18. That's something that never happened. Our starting 5 shot 9 for 37. And it's just something that never happened, ever. And, it was just a game that we just step up and make the plays we need to make.
Well, speaking of your starting guards, I definitely want to talk about Justin Coleman here in just a second, but I want to let you shine the spotlight on Cedric McKinnis just for a second. He had 35 points in a game against Madison Academy the other day. Of course, Madison Academy, a defending state champ from 3A, and he absolutely lit them up. Talk about Cedric McKinnis, because Justin Coleman gets all the credit.
Yeah, well, Ced is he's a pretty good player. He's a Division I player too. Even at his size of 5'9", he had 35 points last night. He had 10 rebounds. He had 5 assists and 4 steals. So he had a real complete game last night. I think against a good Madison Academy team, but Josh Lane didn't play, and that I guess the game was not really as competitive as it probably would have been had Josh played. Josh like the LeBron of high school these days.
Yeah.
So it was kind of good not to have to see him along with Kerryon Johnson, another good guard. But yeah, Ced had a real good game. But he's capable of that though. When guys try to take Justin out of the game with a double team, that's how we're going to need Ced to play in order to go deep in the playoffs.
Talk about your post presence this year. I want to ask you about some guys you had last year. You had an incredible front line last year. Talk about the post this year, though, because, of course, your guards in McKinnis and Coleman, they are the stars of the show right now.
Well, last year, I said the past 5-6 years, we've been blessed to have a lot of size. And when I say size, I mean guys 6'5", 6'6", and up. This particular year is the first year since like 08 that we hadn't had a guy taller than 6'4". And our big men now, they're like 6'3", 6'4". Real physical though, and I call them my fat boys. They kind of on the heavy side, but they do a real good job of pounding and banging inside. They're not real serious offensive threats like we had last year with Bear and over the past few years, a couple other guys, but they hit the offensive boards hard. And they're real physical inside. So with the guard play that we have, it's really all we need them to do, And they can make an open layup every now and then. So we just ride with them.
Coach, talk about Justin Coleman. Of course, he signed with Alabama, one of the top point guards, if not the top point guard in the nation for next year. He's a little slight of size, but he's so quick. He's such a good shooter. How do you think his game translates to the next level?
Man, I think Justin has probably been ready for the next level for quite some time. First time I ever saw Justin play was 12 years old in 7th grade, and he would have started for me on varsity then. Wow. And we had a Final Four team. But on the next level, his size, it may not even be a problem for him because he's so well-rounded with, being able to do anything with a basketball. I just can't see it being a problem for him. Even the people that recruit him, they don't think that it's a problem for him. And he's probably going to fit in. He's going to be a perfect fit for Alabama, just a dynamic player that can create. It's one of the players that can create and get other people open shots. So, I'm sure they're eager to get him down there.
I think they'd take him tomorrow, Coach. I think they need him. Can he be ready for Florida on Thursday night?
Yeah. I went to the Alabama game last week, and they played Mississippi State, and they got a good point guard now. But when they get Justin down there, they're going to really, really have some exciting games and probably fill up some seats.
Coach, I noticed in the paper a little while back you had made mention, of course, y'all are the 3-time reigning state champs, but you really should be the 4-time reigning state champs. That 2008 team was disqualified on some technicality, and you said that team was probably the best team you had ever had until last year. What made that 2008 team so special, and what made the 2013 team so special?
Well, the 2008 team was special because I had 4 guards that were all very, very good guards, and I had one big man that was 6'4", and he really knew how to do everything with the basketball. That was twins, Jared and Jeremy Towns. And what happened was they put us out, like I said, a technicality. One of my players had played 3 years of middle school basketball. He was 18 years old, but the middle school let him play 3 years of middle school basketball. And his 12th grade year, they said he was ineligible, but they didn't tell us until playoff time. I had no idea he hadn't even played 3 years of middle school basketball. But he was, and it hurt us, man. It hurt the whole team because we had just beat a 30-0 Russellville, and we would have ended up playing probably Butler in the state championship that year. But that team was special because we had so many guys that could shoot the ball and handle the ball well, and we had a lot of speed, and the way that we play, if you left anybody open on that team, it was going to be a knockdown shot. And I had a big guy, Jeremy Towns. He's playing defensive tackle at Tampa right now. He was the only post player we had, and he could get us 15 and 15 any night.
Coach, I know Derunya Wilson signed with Mississippi State. He had a fabulous year, I thought, on the gridiron. But I want to get an update on Artis Cleveland and Isaiah Matson. I know Matson ended up signing with South Alabama, but tell us about those two guys because they were absolutely fabulous last year on your march to another state championship.
Yeah, man. Derunya, Bear Wilson. Bear has been, he and Isaiah both, I put them on varsity as freshmen. And they didn't play much as freshmen, but their 10th grade year they started, and that was the first state championship we won. And once we got to the Final Four their freshman year and lost to Carver Montgomery, we just found that we would never miss another trip to the Final Four. And that's, from that point on, we've been going back every year and winning it. But what those guys brought to the table was a lot of leadership, a lot of hustle, and they did everything the right way, man. They grinded. Those guys really grinded. And to see them now, man, it's just, it's real humbling. I'm so proud of both of those guys. I watched Isaiah play on TV the other night against Arkansas State. He hit a couple threes and scored another basket, rebounded, and finally saw Bear for the first time play. He played against Bama. That was his first basketball game since football season. He got in the game against Bama, man. It just feels just to watch him just get on the court, man. Then AC, Artis Cleveland, he redshirted this year at Oakland University up in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
He'll be touch the floor next year.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you right now, I thought Alabama and Auburn both missed the boat on Matson and on Derunya Wilson for sure, and I probably would have taken a flyer on Artis Cleveland too at 6'10". I thought all three of those guys could probably help our in-state schools, and I know I love to have the high school talent here stay at home, and I'm sure you do too. But, Coach, thank you so much for being with us. This has been really enlightening. Love talking to you. You've got an incredible team. You do an incredible job, and we'll see you at the Final 48. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man, and I agree with you. I feel like our state schools miss too. I mean, it's you let a kid like Bear get out of Alabama and go to Mississippi State, and he was a lot of people don't know he won Mr. Basketball, but he was a parade All-American.
Right.
In basketball. You know, to let that kid get out of state, man, I didn't understand it either, but he went where he thought was best for him, where they really wanted him. And, I'm sure he's going to do good things down there. I appreciate you having me, Luke.
No problem, but the one thing I want to say about De'Runnya Wilson that I love, when he plays football, he looks like a basketball player playing football in a good way, and when he's playing basketball, he looks like a football player playing basketball in a good way. He was so physical last year in the Final 48. I mean, he may not have been the tallest guy, and you may have wanted a little bit more height out of him, but there was nobody any tougher in that whole tournament.
You're absolutely right about that.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Coach Lane. We're going to have you on again maybe around Final 48 time, okay?
Okay, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Coach. That was Coach Cedric Lane. We appreciate his being with us tonight. He's a lot of fun to talk to. Saw him at the Steel City Invitational. Great guy, and he's got a fabulous team. If you get a chance to go check out Wenonah, go check them out, because chances are they're playing probably another state champion caliber team in their gym. It's incredible the schedule that Coach Lane has put together. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.